Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Brent Crane, State Representative, District 13 in Nampa. Handing out material that we had last year in the House State Affairs Committee when we brought this issue forward, so it's for your purview. Representative Mathias asked a pertinent question about, with regards to, you know, what was the rejection? What the problem is, Representative, is currently right now there is exemption in Idaho law that if a librarian hands an obscene material to a minor, they're not subject to the obscenity laws. They have a defense against it. Think of it this way. Would we allow a school nurse to have an exemption if she handed out methamphetamine or marijuana? Absolutely not. We wouldn't do that. We would go, whoa, that's crazy. Yet we have that built into our current law. This bill is simply trying to fix that particular problem. Last year, so the only reason I'm testifying is this bill was in our committee last year and education didn't have to hear it. But how we got here is House Bill 666 came forward last year, got stuck in the Senate because it had criminal and it had civil penalties. And the criminal penalties the Senate felt was too strong. So this year we came back, and I apologize, Madam Chair, I thought it would be back in my committee, did not realize we'd put this difficult burden on you, but we removed the criminal penalties. There are no criminal penalties. Civil penalties, $10,000. Maybe that's too much. If you ask me what I think you guys should do, I think you probably ought to send this to general orders. You probably ought to negotiate with the libraries. I know the sponsor of this bill was asked by the chairman to sit down with the Library Association, work something out. Library Association flat out said, nope, we're not going to agree. We're going to agree to disagree. That's not good policy. And so you guys are stuck in a dilemma today. And listening to the testimony today, you've got this bill and you've got a bill by the Library Association. Maybe the best way out is send it to general orders and see if you can force those two players to work together. So with that, Madam Chair, I'd stand for any questions.
Questions for Representative Crane?
Thank you.
I do have one question for you. When you had committee, did you allow these things to be read in public, into the public record?
So what, Madam Chairman and Madam Chairman,
yes,
what we ended up doing is I excused the page. We let the page step out of the room because of the sensitivity of the issues. I don't feel like that, even though we have young people here, that they should have to be subject to this. So if I'm saying, hey, it shouldn't be subject in the library, it probably shouldn't be subject here. So we excused the page, let the page step out of the room, and then I warned the members. That's why I put a warning on the material today. I warned the members right up front as chairman. I said, look, this is repulsive stuff. And candidly, when you see what's in there, and I don't know the stuff that Senator Carlson handed out, I've not seen that. But when you see the stuff that's in there, this is what is in your local libraries, and there's no defensible way to say that this material is okay to be in the hands of an 8 or 10-year-old child. The problem is the libraries have known about this issue since we brought the bill last year and have done nothing to fix the issue. They didn't come forward and say, hey, we're going to fix the issue. So we've got a systemic problem here that needs resolved. So I hope that answers your question, Madam Chair.
One follow-up.
Certainly.
Were you live streaming?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I do live stream, and I also do, like you, I love virtual testimony. I love to hear from rural Idaho what's going on. And so, yes, we did live stream. But again, I gave the warning right up front that there is obscene material. Obviously, it was handed out stuff to the members, so the folks that were watching live stream couldn't see that material. I don't believe anybody read anything, but I do recall a book being displayed, and I was shocked at what is out there and what's a part of our culture. I guess I kind of live in a Pollyanna world.
It's a good world.
It is. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you
for
so
your
much.
indulgence today.
Yeah. Oh, yes, Representative Birch.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Representative Crane. Since you're familiar with this topic from last year, are you aware of any library boards that are not accountable to the public?
Representative Crane.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Representative Birch. They can be elected. They can also be appointed by the mayor. So there is a buffer that's there. What this legislation is seeking to do, however, one of the beauties, I think, of the legislation is what you guys would probably allow in Boise, in the Boise Library, is going to be reflective of the cultural values in Boise, and that's probably going to be different from Rathdrum or Nampa or Coeur d'Alene or Eastern Idaho. And I think that that's one of the ways that those that have crafted this legislation try to deal with the problem instead of saying it's one size fits all. And this book is not acceptable in Nampa, so therefore it can't be acceptable in Boise. No. If Boise's community values say that that is okay in Boise, then it's okay in Boise. And I think that that was very wise to do that.
Representative Birch.
A follow-up, Madam
Yes.
Chair? It would seem that the recourse that any community has, whether it's Boise or elsewhere, is in fact who they elect to be on their library boards, or the people who are elected to appoint members of a library board. So to say there is no recourse, that this is the only recourse for any local community to address their concerns, I'm not sure that's completely accurate.
I think you answered this, but
Okay.
Representative Crane.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Representative Birch. So one of the recourses, as you're well aware in this political process, there is the ballot box that's a recourse, but also if parents are frustrated that those individuals are not continuing to listen to them, this legislation provides the ability to say, look, we think this book is objectionable. We can take it to court and have that conversation if you want to, or maybe you'd decide to put this book in another section of your library and not make it available to minors.
Thank you, Representative Crane. Representative Wisniewski.
Thank you, Madam Chairman and Representative Crane. Can you tell us what the term of office is for a library board trustee?
Representative Crane.
Madam Chair and Representative Wisniewski, this would be a guess. This would not be, I guess it's 4-year term.
Representative Wisniewski.
Follow-up, Madam
Yes.
Chairman, Representative Crane.
I look like Birch, I understand that.
I'm not going to make a decision as to who's the better looking. It's a compliment.
Moving on, gentlemen.
Does it seem reasonable to the average person that we should wait for a 4-year term or even a 2-year term before we take action at the ballot box to fix a problem that is continually occurring day by day for a bunch of youngsters viewing this material in the public libraries or in a school library? Does that seem
Representative
reasonable
Crane.
to you?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Chairman Yamamoto and Representative Wisniewski. That's the question you're going to have to ask yourselves today. I have my personal belief, and I don't think it is. I also think that parents should have the ability, if they have a board, it can change based on how the makeup of that board is. So I think that parents should consistently have the ability, as new books are, we're not getting new books every 4 years. So I think that they should have the ability to police. These are taxpayer dollars. That's the difference about this. These are your dollars. These are our dollars. And I think that taxpayers should have the ability, if there's a book that's in question, they should be able to go to the library. And if the library continues to refuse, then they have another remedy that they can seek out.